Hey Cody, do you like anime? Who doesn't like anime? If you don't like anime, what are you even doing here, I guess? I don't know. And yes, I'm wearing shorts. It's freaking hot in here, so, like, please just stop looking at my legs, please. I'd really appreciate it. I got about 20 favorite animes that I like. So, let's get into it. So before we get into it, just so you guys know, I'm CodyYouKnowMe. I stream weekends at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Twitch. Link in the description below. Now this first anime is basically pretty child friendly. Like, a lot of people can watch it, you know, there's no swears, nothing like that, and it's really highly known around the world. There's a couple things in my room that are actually from the anime, so yeah, it's a good one. Gotta know what that anime is, don't you? It's called Pokemon, and basically it's about like monsters that can, like, you can catch and, like, you know, collect and battle and stuff like that. It's pretty good, yo. It's all right. Really, the only problem I have with Pokemon is there's just way too freaking many now. It's like, oh my god, there's too many, man. I can't even keep track anymore. So yeah, I like highly recommend Pokemon to, like, you know, younger audiences, stuff like that. It's even all right for, like, adults, right? So this next anime is probably my all-time favorite anime out of the whole bunch, and it's called Dragon Ball Z. If you don't know what Dragon Ball is, you may look like this. So if you like things like kung fu and, like, martial arts, you know what I mean, people fighting and training and things like that, people being able to, like, fly, and, like, aliens and, like, space and, like, powering up screaming for 10 minutes, I highly recommend it to you. Dragon Ball Z has been, like, my favorite ever since I was, like, a little kid. I, like, grew up watching it, so yeah, it's really good. But I don't know if it's, like, perfect for, like, kids or whatever, like, maybe for teenagers, because they say there's a word that they say in it. Also, if you're gonna be watching Dragon Ball Z, make sure you start off with Dragon Ball, then move on to Dragon Ball Z. Then you can move on to, like, Dragon Ball Super. There's also Dragon Ball GT, but apparently it's not canon, which I'm actually very disappointed in, because I really like the show. So yeah. So there's a character in Dragon Ball Z, and I swear, he's, like, died so many times. So the reason why it's called Dragon Ball Z is because there is, you know, something called Dragon Balls. There's 7 of them, and when you gather all 7 Dragon Balls, a dragon shows up and he grants you a wish. There's also another dragon that grants you 3 wishes. Like I said, it's my favorite out of the whole bunch. I highly recommend it. It's really good. Now this next one is pretty much child friendly as well. It's basically like a ripoff of Pokemon. It's called Digimon. It's actually pretty good too. There's these monsters called digital monsters, and they basically digivolve, like, you know, like, evolve into different Digimon. And yeah, there's, like, a thing called the digital world, and, like, they come into the real world, or they can go into the digi world. It's pretty cool, and they use, like, these little devices called digivices. It's actually alright. I like it. Now this next anime is called Sailor Moon. Yes, I used to watch it when I was younger. Kind of like, there's, like, girls with powers and stuff, and each one of the girls have names, and they, like, each of their names is specific with, like, a certain planet and stuff. They also do a lot of hand gestures in it. There's also one guy in there I used to, like, wish I was. Like, this guy was cool. Like, every time he showed up, all the girls were like, oh my god! But yeah, it's pretty good, but I must warn you, there's a bunch of fan service in it, so yeah. Still a pretty good show, though. Okay, so this next show is called Hunter x Hunter. There's a bunch of fighting in it, and basically this kid named Gon Freaks, he basically is, like, on the search for his dad. He wants to be a hunter, and basically there's, like, you know what I mean, he goes on adventures, and he, like, has, like, a fishing pole and stuff. It's actually a pretty good show. At the end, he, like, does, like, this transformation kind of thing. It's freaking badass as hell. This next one is called Inyu-Yasha. It's a pretty good show as well. If you like shows about like people with ears or like demons and stuff, or like a big ass sword, things like that, lots of fighting and lots of like storyline, it's actually a pretty good show. There's also a lot of comedy in it. It's really good. And then there's this other show that I like. It's called The Devil is a Part-Timer, and it's basically pretty self-explanatory from the name. It's about the devil, right? And for some reason he's on Earth and he's working like at a restaurant, like McDonald's or something. It's got quite a bit of comedy in it, so it's actually a pretty good show. I don't know if it's good for kids though. Seeing as it's about the devil, you know, it probably wouldn't be good for somebody who, you know, runs on like a Minecraft Christian server, you know what I mean? Now this show is called Fairy Tail. It's freaking hilarious. Like, I highly recommend it if you like really funny anime. It's so funny. Like at the beginning of the show, this guy is like looking around for somebody named the Salamander, when basically he is the salamander. And then there's like this girl and she uses keys, and all these keys are like zodiac symbols, and they all spawn like monsters that like help her. It's a really funny show. It's hilarious. Okay, the next anime is called Battle Angel Alita, or Alita. It's basically about like robots, and it's like futuristic, and basically this scientist or like, you know, like robot builder guy like builds this girl, and basically he gives this girl like the brain or like the memories of his daughter. It's a really good show, and they actually made a movie on it too. It's a pretty good movie, really good graphics. It's dope. Like, I watched the anime, it was really good drawn, but in my opinion the movie was way better. Okay, now it's about time to start moving on to the more ecchi or NSFW type of animes, so just a warning. Okay, to start it off, this next anime is called Danmachi, or it is also called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Main premise of the show, it's basically like there's these goddesses and stuff, and the main character, he basically like, he's trying to become strong, you know what I mean, and he's like trying to like level up because he's really in love with this girl who saved him from like this big ass minotaur. And there's tons and tons and tons of freaking fan service, so just a warning for you guys, it's freaking hilarious. So a lot of funny parts in it. It's a really good show. I like it like a lot. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but the main girl or the main goddess in the show, she's right there. Her name is the goddess Hestia. Now this one is basically like Sailor Moon, but more or less for guys, because there's tons of fan service, and this chick is like totally badass. This anime is called Kill La Kill. Don't get me wrong though, there is a lot of girls who watch it too. The show has a really good storyline. It's basically like this girl's dad gets murdered with this giant scissor blade, and she spends like the rest of her like days trying to find out who killed her dad and basically who has the other side of this scissors, because it's like it was like split in half. It's really good, but there's a lot of fan service, but there's also a lot of comedy too. So if you like comedy anime too, it's really good anime style. I really like it. I actually just recently got the game. Now, if you like Dragon Ball, you would probably really like this show as well. It's called Baki, or Baki the Grappler. There is a lot of fighting in it, a lot of gruesome stuff happens. There's also a little tiny bit of fan service in it, so just a warning. But there's tons and tons of fighting, so if you like Dragon Ball, you probably really like this. Muhammad Ali and Muhammad Ali Jr. are in it too. There's almost like powers, kind of like Dragon Ball too. It's a pretty good show, and I highly recommend it to anybody who likes like a lot of fighting shows. Okay, so now this show is another one of my favorites. There's a ton of fan service in it, so just another warning. One of the characters is actually the poster in my room. This is a girl named Sinon. She's like a sniper chick. It's actually a really good show. The main premise of the show is basically like this kid named Kirito. He basically gets a VR headset, right? And there's this game called Sword Art Online. You know, that's what the show is called. And basically, he gets trapped in the game. And basically, if you die in the game, you die in real life. So I would like highly recommend this show to like a gamer, you know what I mean? Or like if you've never watched anime but you're a gamer and you want to get into anime, Sword Art would probably be a good start. Like I said, with the fan service, there's a lot of swimsuit scenes, and also the villains are they're kind of, you know, villainous, and like I said, there's a lot of fan service, so the villains are like basically after the chick's private parts, blah 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 blah. It's I don't know, it can be bad, it can be good, I don't know, it's really up to you. But like it's basically like also like a love story, you know what I mean? Like there's this girl named Asuna and then Kirito, right? They fall in love basically, and they basically have a virtual daughter. It's actually it's a pretty good show, but like I said, the villains are kind of, you know, they're bad. Now this next show is called Sekirei, and I'm just warning you, there is tons of fan service, like almost full nudity, like it's kind of hardcore, but also it's a really funny show. There's this girl on there, and she's got like blonde hair, and basically she has like an English accent, you know what I mean? And she always says stuff like, "Thou is not thy true wife." Basically, the main premise of the show, it's like there's aliens who are basically, they look like girls, and they basically have their own powers, and they have to like fight to like solve this issue or whatever. And like I said, there's tons of fan service, so just be warned. But it's pretty freaking funny. There's a lot of comedy in it. It's really good. Now this next show is called Konosuba, or God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. This is another comedy one with a bunch of fan service. There's a little bit of nudity, so I'm warning you, but like I said, it's hilarious. It's like this guy who like passes away trying to save a girl, and he basically like gets the chance to go into another world to like, you know what I mean, live, so he doesn't have to like die. And basically the goddess Aqua, who basically is like making fun of him because of the way he dies, she's like, oh, you could take anything with you to this new world. So he basically takes her since she's so mean to him. Like I said though, it's hilarious. I highly recommend it to people who like fan service and a lot of comedy. Okay, so this next anime is called Ladies vs. Butlers, and I'm warning you, this is another one full of comedy, fan service. There's this like guy, and he gets treated bad by like this girl all the time. I think both the girls like secretly have a crush on him because they're like both like competing against each other for him, basically, like in like running and like stuff like that. It's like kind of like a academy kind of show, and yeah, like these guys are like training to be butlers, and these girls are like, you know, they're like rich or whatever, and it's like, it's a pretty funny show. But yeah, like there wasn't even that many episodes, so I'm kind of disappointed in that. I'm kind of hoping they come out with more. But yeah, it's a good show, all in all. Now this next show is called Testament of Sister New Devil. This one is like extreme fan service, like kind of overboard sometimes. Like when I watched it, I was like, holy crap, man, this is almost like watching porn or something. I don't even know. It was kind of crazy. There's kind of a bit of like incest parts in it, but it's pretty funny too. There's a lot of funny stuff in it, so like if you like comedy anime too, it's pretty freaking funny. There's also a lot of like action in it, so there's like a lot of fighting in it. Like this kid is basically like a hero, and it's like succubus and this like devil girl move into his house and like try to take over, but then they end up getting along, and he's like ends up protecting them, you know what I mean? It's a pretty good show, like all in all, like besides all the extreme fan service, like I said, it goes a little overboard, but it's a good show. This next show is called Seven Deadly Sins, and it's kind of self-explanatory. There's seven like people, and they all are like sins, and basically like they're like hunted around like the world and stuff, but really they're actually kind of like good guys, and they only fight for like a reason. Well, there's one guy, and he like basically like goes to jail and stuff, but there's a bit of fan service in it too. There's like this princess, and the main character, like dude, like not the princess but the guy, Meliodas, he basically is like checking out the chick all the time. And then there's this like funny pig in it, and his name is like, I can't even remember, but they call him the master of scraps disposal. It's pretty funny. Okay, so this next anime is called Blood Lad, and if you like vampires, you'd probably really like this one. There's a little bit of fan service in it too. It's kind of weird because like there's this girl who's like dying, but it's because of the main character. And this main character is like a total otaku. Like he has a cell phone, and hanging from his cell phone is a little tiny Goku. And actually, in the show, he actually does a Kamehameha. It's actually pretty funny. And he's like, only a real hero can do that, not like a poser like me or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty freaking good show. I highly recommend it to like people who like joking around and like tributes to other anime. And it's a good show. I like it. It's alright. And for the last anime, this one is called School DxD. This one is another hardcore fan service one. Actually, my buddy Demon showed me this one, so shout out to you, Demon. I really like this one too. It's got a great story. This guy basically gets more powerful by being with chicks and like touching their boobs. It's pretty freaking funny. I highly recommend it to people who like action and a lot of like emotion and fan service. So yeah, it's a pretty good show as well. So yeah, that's 20 animes that I recommend to y'all. There's some family friendly ones, and then of course there's NSFW ones for like adults, you know what I mean? So if you guys like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time I post another video. Also, don't forget that I stream weekends at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Twitch. Link in the description is below. My name's CodyYouKnowMe. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.